Welcome back. It is 1597, if you can believe that. And last year, not this year, last year, we had little Milo. Unfortunately, the two other parts of the triplets did not survive. Marie outed their affair and ended up getting divorced from her husband because Luke then turned around and outed their affair to him. Constance moved on and became the child of Genevieve and Zechariah. And yeah, lots of stuff going on. So this year we have a few birthdays. What we have here first is Elias de Mohun, who is our baby. Technically, no 7, 14, or 19. He just survived. Gracia, Waldrick, and Theta de Mohun are becoming children. No 2, 4, or 6 for either of them. Peter Hobart and Joan Hobart, no 7 or 13 to become teenagers. Ooh, that was a 3, but not a... Ooh, that was even closer. Okay, and then Peter and Joan, will they be getting married? Peter, will he get married? Yes. And Joan, will she get married? Yes. And then how many kids will they have? Peter will have 3, and Joan will have 8. Oh my gosh. Peter Hobart and Joan Hobart. Okay, so Peter Hobart with the 3 and Joan Hobart with the 8. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then we have Hugh Venian. That's also one of ours. Can't get a 3 or an 18 to become a young adult. He did not. Camille Waldrick has to get at least an 8 to survive his birthday roll. He did. And then Bennett is actually dying this year. So then for Hugh, he's not going to have any kids, but I guess there's only one lady here. Okay, so maybe I'll have him marry Clarice. Oh no, I was going to have Clarice marry Humphrey. Now I remember. Do I have any townies 1597 that we can use? Marie is still over here. Okay, Clarice. I think Maria Verduzco is married, right? Who is... Let's check. Maria Verduzco. Yeah, she's... Well, she was married. Her husband is dead now. Then Mencia. Did Mencia ever get married? Mencia's not married. Okay, we could use her. And she's becoming a young adult today. That's perfect. Okay, let's have him marry Mencia. So let's say Hugh. That doesn't say Hugh. Hugh and Mencia marry. Okay. I think that'll be good. Yeah, because she's literally becoming a young adult right now. So they have the same birthday. Excellent. Unfortunately, they will not have any children. But what you gonna do? Okay, Edith. Is Edith even still alive? Edith? No, she's not alive. Get out of here. Oh, because I killed them in the plague. Yeah, no. William the Third is still alive. William the Second is not. Okay. We might need to add more Sims. I was just trying to avoid adding too many more Sims because I didn't want to, I don't want to have too many Sims and then we move over to America and I leave a bunch of Sims behind. I want to take as many as we can with us, but I also don't want there to be like, I want like a fresh start when we move to America. So that's why I'm trying not to add too many more Sims, but we might have to. We'll have to see where things go. So anyway, let's hop into the game. Alrighty, so first we're going to do the wedding. So we are going to have Hugh Venian get married to Mencia Verduzco. So those two are going to get married. They're both becoming young adults this year, and they're not having any children. So we're just going to quickly get them married off and update everything and feel good about it. She is gorgeous, and you know what? He's a looker too. I mean, he is our son, so. But unfortunately, they won't be having any children. And so let's just update. And then the second wedding we're going to have is actually, so now that Marie and William have divorced, he still needs a wife. Like, he needs to get married because he is a duke, and he has no heirs because he disowned the children he had with Marie because he couldn't confirm that they were his or not. So because of that, he actually decides to ask Yasmina to marry him. And the reason for that is like the two of them have been like from the beginning spending time together. Like even though she fell in love with his brother and wanted to be with him, like he's been gone for a number of years now, and they were supposed to get married in the first place anyway. So she's just kind of like, okay, and it like gives her children a better standing, and it also gives him the opportunity to have more to have an heir, So that is what's going on there. Then we're back in our house, and we're actually really, really close to finishing Luke's aspiration. So we are going to finish up some stuff with that. It is all really great stuff. We are going to finish his aspiration today, so that's really exciting, but he does need to make one more trip to Salvadorada. Now, he was almost at the part where he wasn't really going to need to go there anymore as much, and maybe not every year for like several months, but he still needs to keep going. And honestly, I think he is looking to spend some time away from Sophronia. The two of them have, had some difficulties lately, obviously, with the whole thing about it, Sophronia finding out that he cheated with Marie and they had a baby together, and then also, Sophronia losing two of her children at the same time because of the stress. And it's just like a lot for the two of them. And while at first Sophronia was just kind of like, you know what, I can't handle this right now. I just need to actually, recover and focus on myself before I can focus on our relationship. They are fighting a lot more and dealing with a lot more stuff. So he is kind of grateful to be, leaving for a little while. So he does actually go over to Marie's so that he can tell her also that he's leaving for a little while, because he is responsible for her day-to-day life, her her funds and everything. So he's like, look, while I'm gone, blah, blah, blah. And Marie's just kind of actually like, actually, why don't we go together? Because one of the things that, if you remember back then, what Marie had kind of, said to win over Luke is that she would have been the type of wife that would support his dream here and would, support him in it. And so she says, well, I'm really interested. Like, that I've been interested in Salvadorada, so why don't you take me with you? So they basically have this conversation where she basically invites herself onto his trip. And at first he's like, I don't know if I want to spend however many months with you. I think it's like a 6-month trip this year. So he's like, I don't know that I want to spend that much time with you because you are literally the thing that is destroying my marriage, and it's a really big problem. And Marie's like, come on, like we were best friends. We were really good friends. Like, it's not just about that. Like we used to really have a good time together, and we're very, they're compatible. They have like good compatibility or something. So basically, all this to say, she does convince him to let her tag along, which is fine, but they do end up having to stay in a house because of this, obviously. So they end up staying in this little house, and she doesn't complain about the house being small, and she cooks all the meals for them and doesn't complain about there not being any servants. Like, Marie is definitely thinking to herself that she does not have a husband right now. She does not have a husband. Luke is her provider, and while he will provide for her, she knows that there is still a step up that she could have. Like, she could get a lot more out of him if she was a little sweeter, and if their relationship was good. And so just the fact that she's like, she's taking care of everything while he works on uncovering artifacts and doing research, and she helps cook all the meals, and everything is all taken care of, and it's very nice because he's usually roughing it when he comes on these trips. So he's actually like, oh, this is actually kind of nice to have someone come along and help me out, and be a little romantic. So of course the two of them are crossing boundaries once again. They are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and honestly, Luke, you are really some kind of guy. But my Sims are messy, so we make them messy. So anyway, he's feeling really good about the fact that she's there. He really didn't know that he would, but he actually is, and he is having a good time, and he's feeling really good about the trip, and that everything is just so taken care of and feeling good, and they're just it's just going really well. So, um, meanwhile, he's going to head out and go to do some like adventuring, and he actually ends up finding these like baths, and he actually tells Marie about them, and she decides that she wants to go with him, and so they go together to the baths, even though you cannot see these Sims. I am so sick and tired of my Sims being invisible all the time. Anyway, he just finished his aspiration by giving her a lecture on archaeology. So like he took her here and he told her all about the history and stuff and told her all about stuff. And now they're just like relaxing and having a good time. And then he sends her back home and he goes out to adventure some more. So just like all of this stuff where he is, just kind of enjoying the cushiness of having someone be there to take care of everything for him. So there's that. And now we're just going to finish up with his adventuring. And it is raining, so it's like not really that great for adventuring, unfortunately, for him. But what you gonna do, So they are going to come back here and have a nice meal and spend some more time together. And, this is like 6 months of time. So, like, it's not like, they just hop into bed together the first night, right? Like, they spend a lot of time together. He remembers why they were such good friends and how much fun they used to have together. And he thinks to himself, like, man, like, and they have these conversations about their relationship and how it failed and all this stuff. And like, he's just kind of thinking like, this is so nice. Like, all I do is fight with Sophronia, but now like everything is so nice here. And of course he doesn't realize that Marie is totally putting on a show for him, but they do end up woohooing. And basically, like, she tells him that she regrets turning him down all those years ago, and he kind of regrets not leaving Sophronia for her before they actually got married, and he kind of wishes that he had made a different choice. And obviously a lot of these feelings are coming up because we're here. If he was back home with his wife and his children, would he be thinking the same thoughts? Maybe not, but the two of them are just spending all this time together and really enjoying each other's company. And he just is like feeling like, oh, this is the way that it should be. This is the way that it, like, a relationship should be. Why did I rush into things with Sophronia and all we do is fight and we keep having all these bad things happen to us and it's just not working. But with Marie, it's so easy, So he's an idiot. But they do end up spending that time together, woohooing, having a good time. He gets to do his artifact stuff. He gets to have fun. He gets to do all of this other stuff that he always dreamed about doing. Like, he always kind of dreamed that it would be like this and that, like, his relationship would be like this and that he would have all of this, exciting stuff in his life. But he never has, everything was fighting. Like, he fought with Sophronia to be able to even go to Selvadorada in the first place all the time. Like, every single time he went, it was a fight, and she didn't want him to. And then every time I turn around, their relationship is, like, gone down, and I'm just like, are you two just not meant to be together? Like, maybe that's true. Even if that is true, you should not be woohooing with someone else while you're still married to her. Like, if you realize that it's not working, you need to break it off. But he's an idiot, and he doesn't do that. So, I don't even think Sophronia, I didn't even think about until just this moment whether Sophronia even knows that Marie came with him on this trip. She probably doesn't because she tries to stay far away from Marie and her business all the time. She's probably surprised. She's probably like thinking to herself back home, oh, I'm surprised Marie hasn't given me any crap lately, So anyway, Marie finds out right now that she is eating for two. And so like literally like they're about to leave their trip. And she's like, oh, by the way, I think I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, so he got her pregnant on their trip, and he comes home to his wife in labor with their baby, and he's like, I can't say anything right now. Like, we roll, and then the baby actually dies. So they lost another baby. Another baby did not survive, and it's just like awful. Poor Sophronia. Poor Luke too. Like, they lost 3 children now, and Sophronia is so upset and everything. And so Luke is kind of thinking to himself, I can't tell her that I got Marie pregnant right now. Like, I can't tell her that. She's so upset. Like, she's depressed. She's dealing with all of the recovering and the hormones and the everything. And like, she just had a baby and it passed away. And it's the second time that that's happened. I mean, it's the third time, but like the second pregnancy that that's happened to. And so he's like, I can't say anything. I can't. Like, he's like freaking out. And so he's trying not to lose it over the problems that he is going to face shortly. But for right now, they're just, she's glad he's back, and, she's glad to have the support, especially after losing the baby. So, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, birthdays. Birthdays, we have Elias de Mohun, that is our son, by Marie, becoming a toddler. Although I don't think Elias will ever get any, like, even though Luke might consider taking Marie's children under his wing, taking care of them, maybe even giving them his name, like, he's not going to consider Elias his heir, because he has no proof that Elias is actually his child. She was still sleeping with William at the time. Nobody knows that Elias is his child. They just know that Elias could be his child. So he's never going to be the heir. Anyway, so then Gracia Waldrick becomes a child. Theda de Mohun, that is Yasmina's daughter, becomes a child. Peter Hobard becomes a teenager. Joan Hobard becomes a teenager as well. Hugh Venian becomes a young adult. Mencia Verduzco, now Venian, became a young adult as well. They got married. And then Bennett Cruikshank actually ended up passing away. He lived a very long life, so I think that it all went really well for him. Actually, let's find out how long he lived. I think that could be fun. Let's see. Bennett, where is he? Oh, I was on the other thing. Oh, also a baby was born off camera to Mary and Tobias Stroud. We do not know yet whether or not she's a vampire or not. But yeah, so it looks like Bennett lived from 1545 to 1597. So that is a long time. Let's see. 97 minus 45. Okay, well, it's only 52, but it's a long time for this time period. It's a long time for them. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this part. In the next part, what do we have going on in the next part? We probably are going to have, what's her name? Oh my gosh, Sophronia find out about Marie's pregnancy, but we also have Milo's birthday, and let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much all the excitement is Milo's birthday next year. So hope you're looking forward to it, and I'll catch you in the next one.